Also talk about going to college and beating the odds. I've had teachers who said negative things like you're not going to college. Being in special education, you aren't afforded a lot of opportunities other kids are afforded. So for me, having to beat the odds, go to college, not only earn my undergraduate degree, but my graduate degree was a tremendous honor. And after doing that, I said, I need to give back and I need to really honor the kids who are coming behind me, having the same challenges. So that's what really encouraged me and motivated me to write the book.
The most important lesson in my life, in Ronnie's life, and in Nelson's life is to keep at it, don't give up, and find the grown-ups in your world who will help you.
It's like a dream to come true, and I support him all the way, and I love him, he's my baby.
What message do you have for kids watching this morning who are dealing with learning disabilities? You're a therapist.
Yes.
You've beaten the odds.
Yes. Well, I would say definitely be encouraged, be strong, be bold, don't give up. Young people and even adults, because I found when sharing my story, there are a lot of adults who were placed in special education, who had learning disabilities, who had really bad experiences in special education, whether it's from friends teasing them or just them feeling like they were less than. So that was a really big encouragement for me to write my book. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a few pages of the book because I understand today we're talking about suicide awareness. And just this week, they had a young man from West Virginia named Jackson, I believe he was 9 years old, who committed suicide. And in writing my books, it's really about kids beating the odds, but it's also about kids identifying their strengths and kids loving themselves and knowing that, hey, I may struggle, but I'm no different than the next kid. So this first page in the book, when you open the book, Nelson ends up getting in trouble. So for me, my desk was moved all throughout the classroom. And no matter where I had my desk, I found someone to talk to. I love this illustration. My mom used to always say, I sent you to school to learn, not play. So I made sure I put that in the book. And that's a picture of my mom. And on the top of the page is Mrs. Gronkowski, and she's one of Nelson's teachers. And I included Mrs. Gronkowski in the book, not just because she looks like one of my former teachers, but because it's important for us to know that kids have bullies in school, they have peers who are bullies, but kids also have adults who are bullies. And sometimes adults bully kids, by putting them down, saying that they're not going to, I had a teacher tell me I wasn't going to college, by being real negative, making the kid feel like they're not good enough, or making the kid feel like something that they're less than. So in this part of the book, I talk about my handwriting. My handwriting has always been compared to chicken scratch. In fact, it was one of the number one reasons why I was placed in special education, was because of my handwriting and ADHD. How many of you all heard, can anyone read this? What does it say?
Go to the office now.
How many, for the kids, how many of you all have heard your teacher say that? Just by a show of hands. I heard it a lot too growing up. And for me, being sent to the office and sent outside of class, it really just told me that they don't want me in this class. They don't want me here. School is not a place for me. And it made me feel that way, but it also energized me, motivated me to say, hey, I gotta hang in there. Obviously, some people don't want me to be here. Some people don't want me to succeed the way that I want to succeed, but I need to stick it out. This is a really important part for me. So when I was in special education, I never told my friends. No one in school knew that I was in special education, except for the kids that were in my class and my teachers. So I used to say I was sneaking to class like a ninja. I used to always go to class late or go to class early so no one would see me going to class and find out that I had a learning disability. And it's important for me to add this page because people who are depressed, people who have learning disabilities, they want to be invisible. They want to hide away, from people and keep whatever their challenge is a secret. And oftentimes when people have their secrets exposed, that's when the thoughts of suicide or hurting themselves come up. When I was a kid, I never attempted suicide, but I never felt like my life mattered. I stopped caring about my life. So if I got killed, it didn't matter because I didn't value my life. And no kid should ever feel that way. This part of the book talks about the emotional journey. For me, my parents were the only people I could talk to. They were the only people who really understood what was going on. I didn't feel safe telling my story to other students because I knew they would tell other people. When my parents gave me that shoulder, they were the people who empathized with me. My mom always told me that I was smart. She even today, she said, nothing was wrong with you. The school just wanted money. And sometimes I believe I'm not to go into on schools, but my mother felt like the school was considering me to be learning disabled, and she knew I wasn't disabled. She knew I was capable of doing work, but she also knew I wasn't working up to my potential. I did have some challenges. Can anybody read that? Hold on. Go ahead. You got it. Good job. Give him a round of applause. So that's how I felt in school. Not every school is safe. Matter of fact, my school was very unsafe. People were bringing knives to school. Matter of fact, I brought a knife to school a couple times. Don't tell nobody. I hope I did. But I brought a knife to school a couple times. People were bringing guns to school. Schools aren't safe places. And it's not because all the time because of the students. Sometimes schools can be places where kids feel a certain way. I talked to one teacher and she was saying that she had a student who had a disability. She never stayed after school. She, never hung out. She never participated in anything extracurricular because she was so embarrassed about having a learning disability. And she hated school. And we don't want schools to be places that kids hate because schools are giving kids opportunities to excel professionally and give them opportunities to grow and develop. So we want to make schools places that kids love, not places kids hate. So how many saw, just by a show of hands, who's that student that every time something goes wrong, the teacher says, you did it? What happened to this student? So this is what this debate is about. There's a spitball that's shot in the classroom. This is actually based on a real experience. And immediately the teacher blames it on Nelson and his cousin Jeremy. And the kids I work with, I'm an outpatient therapist, I work with court-involved youth. And the worst thing you could ever do to a kid who gets into a lot of trouble is blame them for doing something they didn't do, because they will go off, flat off. And for me, this experience right here really showed me how my teacher thought, not just of myself, but of other students. Because when that spitball was shot that day, this is probably back in 1999, the teacher told the whole class that none of us were going to college.